Black women are the most unprotected and disrespected people in society because our pain and sorrows are made into jokes and memes. We are being mistreated, abused, and discarded at the hands of men, oftentimes Black men, who are supposed to love us, protect us, and provide for us. Instead, we are the breadwinners. We are the head of our households. And either we are too strong or these niggas is too weak. These heartbreaking stories are centered in the Black community all over the United States. Stories of domestic violence, rage, and even death. What do you do when love isn't enough? On Tuesday, October 4th, 2022, Kawanna Felix went to work late at Favor Cuisine. Kawanna confided in her co-worker and friend, Geraldine Hudson, that she was going through it with her estranged husband, Andres Felix. Kawanna and Felix met in Lafayette, Louisiana in 2007. Kawanna had 3 daughters from previous relationships. Kawanna and Felix were married in February 2010, but by 2015, Kawanna and Felix decided to separate. According to Kawanna, Felix had been abusive towards her since 2007. Kawanna filed for 2 protective orders against her estranged husband, Andres, in 2016. Kawanna wrote in an application for a protective order that on Mother's Day, her husband Andres became enraged once again because he couldn't get his way. He left her at a store with her vehicle and said that he was going to destroy everything in their house. Kawanna was trying to get a divorce since 2015, according to the protective orders. On October 4th, 2022 at 10 a.m., Kawanna was told that Ross Chaisson was shot. Kawanna immediately left work. According to her co-worker, she knew Ross Chaisson and immediately knew who shot him. At around 5:30 p.m., the second person shot was Paige Lewis. Paige Lewis was a 25-year-old mother of 3 boys from Tucson, Louisiana. Paige Lewis was just a casualty of this horrific situation. It seems that close friends and relatives couldn't understand why Paige was killed that day. Kawanna left work ASAP after finding out that Ross was shot. Her friend and co-worker, Geraldine, advised her not to go home, but unfortunately, Kawanna didn't listen. She was shot at her home on 100 Clara Street by her estranged husband, Andres Felix. A little after 6 p.m., Kawanna was fatally shot in front of her children and grandchildren. Around 6:30 p.m., Andres drove to a relative's home on Sheila Drive in Lafayette, where he shot and killed himself.
Friends and family members of one of the victims in a triple murder-suicide is being remembered with a candlelight vigil. Kawanna Felix was one of 3 people authorities say 36-year-old Andres Jamal Felix killed this week before turning the gun on himself. News 10 has obtained court records of Andres Jamal Felix's criminal record, and News 10's Britt LaFaso joins us in studio to give us a look at Felix's past and his relationship with one of the victims.
Kawanna Felix, who is being remembered tonight, was the ex-wife of the shooter Andres Jamal Felix. His criminal history shows a pattern of domestic abuse with Kawanna.
You know, with like domestic violence, it's bad, you know, and it's real.
Kawanna Felix's co-worker Geraldine Hudson says Kawanna came into work late on Tuesday. She was worried as her ex-husband Andres Jamal Felix told her he wanted to kill himself.
Because when she found out the news that he had killed the first guy, Ross, she just immediately left. She said, I have to go. The last words I told her was, don't go home. I said, take your kids and go somewhere with your kids. I said, don't go home. And she told me, she said, I'm not going home. I'm going to go get a room for me and my kids. And maybe an hour and a half later, I get a phone call saying that she got shot.
Kawanna was the last person Andres killed before killing himself. Andres' criminal record shows not only a past domestic abuse charges, but over a dozen drug charges and an attempted murder charge. The 36-year-old's criminal history began when he was only 21 years old in 2007. Police charged Andres with principal to attempted first-degree murder. The next year, in 2008, he was charged with domestic abuse, battery, and simple battery against Kawanna. In 2011, Andres was charged with armed robbery. 4 years later, he faced drug charges and a charge of aggravated flight from an officer. And later, in 2017, he pled guilty to domestic abuse, battery, second offense. The victim listed in court records, Kawanna Felix, his ex-wife.
Get somebody involved. I know, family member, a counseling, police officer, get somebody involved. Let somebody know what's going on. If you're being abused or if you're in that type of relationship, get somebody involved before something like this happens again.
The candlelight vigil for Kawanna Felix begins at 6 o'clock.
But the latest victim was Felix's estranged wife. She was shot and killed on Clara Street at around 6 o'clock last night. Taylor Toole spoke with Kawanna Felix's family. And Taylor, how are they holding up?
Jim, Kawanna Felix's family is destroyed. They tell me in their whole lives they've lived on Clara Street, nothing like this has happened in the area. And they surely did not think it would happen to their beloved Kawanna. Now, with that said, a mother, daughter, sister, aunt, cousin, and all-around life of the party, they tell me she was the glue holding the family together. Now gone because of gun violence, they are looking for answers and for closure.
My heart is so black for what this dude did to my sister. You took a strong woman away from her family because of your own insecurities, your own stupidity, your own whatever you want to call it. So now we got to step up. But the thing is, anger is not a word you want to define. It's past anger.
And while Kawanna Felix's family, the entire family, is distraught at this time, they're asking for the community's help when it comes to supporting not only Kawanna's children, but her grandchildren as they are now without her.
Tonight, family and friends are remembering one of the 3 people killed in Tuesday's shooting spree in Lafayette.
Police say Kawanna Felix was killed by her estranged husband. It happened on Clara Street, and that's where the 43-year-old woman's family gathered for a vigil tonight. Trey Francis takes us there.
The family is still trying to cope with the loss of their loved one, sister, and friend after she was killed in a shooting spree on Tuesday. Today, the family remembers Kawanna Felix.
So many times.
The family gathered in prayer and song with a wish to bring back their loved one they say gave to everyone.
If you were hungry, she would feed you. If you was clothes, she would clothe you. She was love. And that word goes a long way because God is who he say he is, which is love.
Felix's cousin, Allison Dennis, says their loss should bring awareness to those in troubled relationships.
She loved her husband and so forth and so on. And I don't know why they had to transpire, but at the end of the day, you got to be mindful who you attach yourself to. Because some people are saying they love you, but you can't love nobody if you kill them.
As a mother of 5 daughters, Felix's 25-year-old, along with her family, are now forced to pick up the reins on taking care of her children.
She has one that's in college at Tulane, and she has 2 younger kids, and they're going to need those finances to see them through. Community, all I'm asking is for you to help this family. I mean, if you love like you say you love, we're in need of help from the community. Because like I said earlier, that woman did everything for everybody.
If you would like to contribute to the family, we have a link to their GoFundMe account on our website at KATC.com. In Lafayette, Trey Francis, KATC, TV3.
Kawanna Felix was a loving and dedicated mother to her 5 daughters, ranging in ages 7 to 25 years old. Kawanna's oldest daughter was the victim of gun violence about 3 years ago, which left her paralyzed. Datashia is a mother of 2 children who was being supported by their grandmother, Kawanna. Kawanna stepped up for her grandchildren due to her daughter being wheelchair bound. Her second eldest daughter, Mercedes, is also a mom of 2. Mercedes is a traveling CNA who is now stepping up for her siblings who were greatly supported by their mother. Kawanna's 18-year-old daughter, Bernazia, is pursuing a nursing career at Dillard University. Kawanna's 2 youngest daughters, Andrisha and Anaya, are in elementary and high school. These young ladies need support as they lost both of their parents, especially their mom, who was the true matriarch of the family. Now, as I'm scrolling through social media, I'm seeing comments left by friends, family members, associates, and someone says, "So sad, estranged wife, so they wasn't together, I assume, but still not a reason to kill all them people." Another person says, "Cold and evil." Someone says he killed Ross because he was sleeping with his ex-wife, Kawanna, and then killed Paige because she knew about Ross and Kawanna messing around and didn't say anything. Kill Kawanna, then kill himself. Someone says, "Please update. Would like to know how the other victims related to gunmen. Motive." Someone says, "Cousin, ex-wife, ex-girlfriend." Paige is being said to be the ex-girlfriend of Andres Felix. And Ross Chaisson is said to be the cousin of Andres Felix. I don't know how true that is. It's all alleged. All we know is 3 lives were lost and 5 children do not have their father. Even though Kawanna had children from previous relationships, that is still their stepfather. And unfortunately, the 2 youngest girls are still in elementary and high school, and they need their mother. They need their father. If you would like to donate to the GoFundMe, I will put it in the description box. I don't believe that there was a funeral for Kawanna as of yet. I'm not sure about Paige as well as Ross. They do have several GoFundMes. And if you would be so kind to donate, it's an unfortunate situation. And I'm praying for the family and friends of all the victims involved to have peace and some type of closure. There's not any real justice in this because the person responsible for this crime is no longer here. Prayers to everyone involved, and especially to the children that lost their parents, not only Kawanna, not only Andres, but also Paige Lewis. May they all rest in paradise.